AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream. This is AfterBuzz TV for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Real Housewives news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? It's your boy DJ Jesse Janedy here in the AfterBuzz TV studios. Your normal host, Stephanie Bauer, is actually on the red carpet at the Sing-Off season finale, but I'm here holding it down with the homie, Cameron Marston.
Good evening, good evening.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I mean, they shoved a lot of information down our throats this week, I feel. like there was a lot of stuff that happened, and they got a little too deep with everybody, a little deeper than I wanted to get, actually. I don't know. What did you feel the overall episode?
I thought Kim was boring. But everything else is pretty deep, I thought. It was pretty substantial.
Yeah, pregnant Kim I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm bored.
I don't like it. I like my Kim, like, Botoxed up, like, drinking, partying. I don't like Mummy Kim.
Yeah. And there was a serious issue with the whole child conversation and, I guess, the new family and being neglected or left out. But other than that,
it wouldn't be Real Housewives if we weren't exploiting the children once again.
Yeah, Shereé, same thing. The whole soccer thing, exploitation. Kandi and her mom. I mean, granted, Kandi's an adult, but seriously, I don't know. I think the mom kind of needs to get over it a little bit.
No? Okay, so let's get into it because I love how we've started last week's episode like this and then this week. Basically, whenever Phaedra does something bad, she makes up by coming over the next day with a gift. So last week she brought Kim a baby basket, and this week she brings Kandi a cake that she baked.
Right.
And basically, apologizes to her, says, I didn't feel like, I wasn't trying to offend anybody, but, I just feel like everyone needed to see that. Maybe it's an Atlanta thing that everyone feels they need to see that. I don't understand how a straight woman could get turned on by a man sucking his own penis. But again, we'll leave that to last week's episode. See, my only problem with this, and let's kind of bounce from this to the talk that Kandi had with her mother.
Right.
I do think her mother is kind of being a little dramatic about it. Don't get it twisted. I do agree with that. But I do think she has the right to be upset. I think that was very inappropriate. I don't know about you, Cameron, but if any of my friends ever did that and my mother was there, I would have been the one to take my mother up and walk away from that. I would have been that person just because I know my mother and her reaction to that would have. I mean,
no, I totally agree. So what I did pick up on is when they did have that conversation with Kandi and just her mom. I think you come to realize that the mom doesn't have an idea of Kandi's adult toy line.
Yeah. Which
makes a little bit more sense to me because I thought the mom was kind of in the know. Because, a lot of times with single parents, you have this overcompensatory idea that we're going to be friends. I'm still your parent, but we're still going to have more of a friendship because I'm going to overcompensate and, I feel bad for what's going on in your life, so on and so forth. That being said, again, going back to the whole stripper thing, I don't think it was the most kosher idea to have that as a surprise. I agree. I would do the same thing. I wouldn't allow it to continue, or I would have my mom leave. But, reality is I probably would have stopped it. As far as women watching a man copulate himself, I think they would find it humorous, but more so they're just enthralled by the size of the matter, if you would say. But, I don't know. All I can say is I would love to have Phaedra as my lawyer, that's for sure.
I mean, well, we'll get into that part of her in a second. To me, I just felt like Phaedra, if you really were serious about the apology would have went to her mother, not to Kandi. because Kandi's kind of like the middleman right now and getting all the heat. Where because of what Phaedra did. Now I know Phaedra wasn't doing it out of malice, out of any type of purpose to offend Kandi's mother. However, she knows she did. So I don't know. Where I'm from, I would have to find a way to apologize to her mother, to kind of clear the air and be like, look, no, just to kind of make because I don't know. Don't you want to make sure that your friend's mother is okay after something like that? Like.
Oh, agreed, definitely agreed. I think I don't know about the editing and the time frame, but just the same way that Kandi had a hard time, the mom wasn't returning her calls either. Kandi drove over. I think it would have to come to that point where Phaedra actually has to like corner the mom and give a genuine apology. I think the mom's gonna take a little while to turn on it, but I agree with you. I think she should make an attempt to speak directly to the mom if she ever gets a chance. I mean, who knows? I think Kandi's mom's a little uptight most of the time anyway, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I definitely think they're going to drag this out, and I do think there will be an episode coming up in which it will come up again, or Nene and Kandi's mom will have kind of like, we'll be able to side with each other at an event or something. I feel like it will come up again, definitely.
I agree. I think it's going to come up sooner than we think, especially with this whole, what we're going to get into about this party and how Cynthia is a little taken aback with the conversation.
Well, so before we even get into that, let's kind of talk about Phaedra and Cynthia. Apparently, Phaedra, Apollo made up with Cynthia and Peter, and they go to this fashion show that Cynthia was hosting. You are not Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks can walk in a show. Tyra Banks can host a show. Cynthia, no. It was really embarrassing. Yeah. And what was almost more embarrassing for the fact was that you're opening up your own agency in which you will have to speak. And it kind of takes you down a few notches as far as you wanting to be this iconic woman that you don't even know the designers' names. I'm just used to wearing them. I'm not used to saying them. A real model, to me, would know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think she's kind of a classic example of a model who kind of rests on her pretty. She's just happy to be pretty. And going back to Tyra Banks, the reality is, think about all the movies and roles that she had to go through. I mean, Higher Learning, that was horrible. Her acting was horrible, but it takes practice. And that's what Phaedra and I think Kandi may have said something about, you might want to practice before you put yourself in public like that. So, I mean, it may come along in time, but I think she definitely was resting on pretty and she hoped it was going to go well. But, I don't know. She's boring. Whatever.
She is a big fail as far as that goes. And so let's talk about Cynthia because, not Cynthia, yeah. Phaedra. Because all I wrote is Phaedra is a beast. I want her to be my friend. Because whenever I am in legal trouble, she will come and she will know exactly what to fricking do. So Shereé basically meets up with her ex-husband Bob, and they're playing soccer with the kids, and she sits Bob down, and they talk about how he hasn't paid child support in 4 years. Are you kidding me? 4 years? What did you take from that conversation? Like, obviously we watch and we judge. So what did you take from this as far as her relationship, especially now that we know how much money she does have? What did you take from their conversation?
Well, it was interesting. What I thought about is what pieces are missing, because I really don't know. Does she have full custody?
Exactly.
Number one.
Well, from what it sounds like because Bob said, the kids have a nice house when they come and see you. The kids have a nice house when they come and see me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, almost like, well, maybe did she sleep with him and he feels like she just slept with him to have a child with a football star, but there's two of them, so that lays on.
That's kind of what Courtney alluded to. She was, doing a whole step-up thing or climbing the ladder, whatever it may have been. But I kind of felt bad for him. I don't feel bad that he's a father, and if his kids need money, he got to do what he got to do. But I did agree with his comments about, I'm not trying to support you and pay for your $15,000 purses or bags or car, whatever he said, something like that. Because, you know, the reality is that does happen a lot. Sometimes the mothers misappropriate the money, and not every case. I'm not trying to overgeneralize, but I can understand. You know, she's rolling around in a, what was it, a new BMW or something like that, and she can barely get her house built. You know, what's more important to you?
Well, right, but to play devil's advocate,
right,
she's doing that by herself. So the fact that she can support the children and the fact that she's still managing to, I mean, every person has the right to have those things if she wants them.
Right.
And she's doing it with her money. I think what she's trying to say is, I'm doing all this, like, yeah, now I want nicer things. I want this house for me and my family. So now it's time for you to step up and give me money for the kids. So that way, yes, I can continue to have the car that I want. So I can continue to have the purse that I want. Yes. So in that sense of it, I do see how it can come off a little bit trifling, but at the same time, I do understand where she's coming from. Do I think she's evil? Yes. Do I think, you know, at the end when he was like, hey, she's just an evil soul. I do agree. I just think Shereé, you know, paints this picture and doesn't really know who she is as a person. But I don't know.
I think she's floundering. She's definitely floundering. And because I was on the same path or same mentality that you are until it jumps to the preview for next week where they show her the papers that she gets served where he wants $19,000 from her. So I don't, you know, what really transpired, because I guess she got, I mean, there has to be more to the story, and I don't think she's as innocent as she's trying to portray herself to be, but, you know, who knows?
Well, right, and so even going deeper into it, when Shereé went to go meet up with Phaedra, talking about child support, Phaedra was like, getting Bobby incarcerated, Shereé tried to cry. And then I love Phaedra's reaction to everything. She said, She said, because when you hear clank, clank, you'll find a check.
He can be the captain of the jailhouse football team.
I hope he likes bologna and white bread. I would just pay just to sit in those lawyer sessions, like, with her. Like, that'd be hilarious.
It's amazing how she changes character. She changes character so well. I love her. I think she's very articulate, especially when she's in that lawyer mode. That's why I've come to like her. Otherwise, her personal life, like, whatever, you know. And she talks about how she likes the whole roughneck and a man who has a good hustle. So I mean, that explains kind of the Apollo thing. It would be interesting to find out how they really met.
Yeah. I would love that story. But even talking about that, it's funny because you wanted that money, and you were the one who said to Bobby, like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to go through the courts. He was not scared at all. Like, okay, go through the courts. Go ahead. And she's still kind of like, I don't know if I should do this or not. So I do wonder what really went down with their relationship. Very interesting.
Yeah, because I think that, he was a little too calm. He didn't get really defensive, and he didn't like cuss her out. And I mean, camera or not, I mean, all he said was she was evil to the core. I mean, it could have been worse, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully we'll see something transpire that delves a little bit deeper into Shereé. Otherwise, Shereé's on the bottom still.
That's where she's staying. No. Next, we had Kim and her daughter, which is really short. Her daughter feels weird, like the baby will tear the family apart. I hate to like pick on kids. This daughter just aggravates me for some reason. I don't know what it is. And I shouldn't. I know it's so bad. Oh, please don't send me hate mail. I don't mean it, but I do. But I felt her when I thought it was really interesting when Kim broke it down and was like, you know, she felt this way with her sister coming into it, so she associates a new baby with separation. So when Kim, you know, kind of extended that description, it kind of put me more on the side of, you know, I can't remember her daughter's name for the life of me. It kind of
Brielle.
What was it?
Brielle.
You know, it kind of put things in perspective as far as like, wow, this girl really has kind of gone through a lot. Imagine having Kim as your mom. I would rather.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, talk about it. Boyfriends, and you got Big Papa with all this cash, and and living the high life and doing all kinds of things while your mom is kind of that's your babysitter, the cash and all the exciting stuff. But when it comes down to mothering, and now she has to deal with fighting for Croy's attention.
Right. And just fighting for family attention when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
That was what was really sad to me. Especially Kim talking about, oh, we want to have another baby too. Like, girl, come, sit your horse down. Like, just have the baby and see what happens. Because, girl, do you have twins in that thing? Her stomach is huge. That's a huge...
She did make a comment about the doctor saying there was excessive fluid, but no, but I agree. My thing is, not that you can't take care of the two daughters you already have, but maybe you might want to shore up your mothering skills with the family that you already do have before you start a whole new one.
Right.
So I understand where the child is coming from, but the one line I did like was she talks about epidural. Great if you can go naturally without any drugs. Good for you, dumbass. But I thought that was funny, and that was pretty much it.
What else we had? And then, all right, obviously for the biggest part of, the episode.
Wait. Go back. We're talking about siblings. So what did you feel about Cynthia and Mal's concern over Peter?
Well, so that's where I wanted to. I was actually just going to take us. Cynthia basically showed her mom and her sister, the new agency, which it looked really nice with the big chandelier in there and everything with the writing on the walls. Very Beyonce of her.
But you know where that chandelier came from?
IKEA.
No, it was leftover stuff from the bar that got shut down.
Stop! I'm throwing this mic out.
Yeah, when they mentioned the chandelier, she goes, "Oh, that's from Uptown."
Buzz you later. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, well, whatever. He's Jamaican. They know how to make it work, and that's what they're doing. So
Right.
good for them. That's
Right.
good for them. What did I feel about this situation? Do I think again, I'm gonna say side with Courtney on this. I think her sister's bugging a little bit. However, I do think again that there's something that we don't know, and that it's bigger than we don't know. And I think Cynthia's a good liar. And her sister, obviously your brother and your sister knows you better than anyone else, especially the fact that her sister seems very dedicated. Like, I'm not doing this because I want to help you. I'm doing this because you're my sister. Things like that. And I did take it as very natural when Cynthia brought up the fact that Peter's check had bounced. Her sister got really, really upset. So I do think that there's something there that we don't know about. And I'm sorry, but I can't say that their relationship is that happy. I don't see them together forever. Honestly, I see Peter with someone like Nene. The way that they flirt when they're around each other, their personalities, they go well with each other. I feel like she likes him because he's a strong, stubborn man, and she likes that. And I feel like he likes her because she's freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
And she stands by her man. I don't think it's a recipe for forever. I don't. And seeing this talk, the mother was very careful with the words that she said. She didn't want to say too much. But I feel like the mother had a lot of other words that she wanted to talk about.
What do you think about Cynthia's past and her history and the lack of commitment or the fear of committing? And you talk about the relationship with her daughter's father, the actor, who seems like a really good guy, and they look like they're better friends. But what did Peter have that got her to commit? I think that's what, for me, I understand where Mal's concern comes from. I think it's a little exaggerated, but I understand where the concern comes from. For a sister that has had so many problems committing to a man and walking down, the aisle to get married, and then knowing some of or watching how Peter does act in public and his slight character, not to say that he's a bad person, but watching the character that we see unfold on screen, I can see where the concern is. And more so, I think the sister's frustrated more with Cynthia, as opposed to, Peter to her is inconsequential, except for when it concerns her sister and the fact that she's going to end up hurting because of this man. take the name out of it. The reality is the sister Cynthia is probably the one with the lack of good judgment.
Not only lack of judgment, but do you think that there's some sort of abuse going on there? The movie Why Did I Get Married? Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah.
So obviously this is kind of a stretch, but Jill Scott's character was overweight and she wanted to be with this guy, and he kind of just did what he wanted to do, and she was attracted to that. And a lot of girls who are insecure are attracted to that type of a man. Now obviously we know Cynthia's beautiful. However, we do a lot of things with top model girls, and they're always saying that a lot of models, as beautiful as they are, they're very insecure. And that's why they're models, because they're always focused and obsessing with their body and weight. So I'm wondering if he almost knows how to keep her by putting her down. On camera, yes, he's, always like, you're my baby. Yeah, my baby stands by my side. I'm not saying that Peter does this on a regular basis, but there is, and he may not even know he's doing it, but I just think with his personality trait, she's very, timid, where Peter's very controlling, aggressive, and those types of characters usually are attracted to each other because one can overpower the other one, and the insecure one kind of just goes for the ride. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure there's definitely subtle manipulation, if not overt manipulation. And the fact that he is Jamaican, Islander cultures, it's very prominent that you have a very domineering masculine figure. And yeah, she's beautiful and all that, but you just nailed it on the head that they still have their own insecurities, if not emphasized and intense insecurities, because their life has been based upon beauty or the aesthetic side of it. What else do they have to bring to the table? He might softly and subtly hit on those little buttons, emotional buttons, and he reined her in. And I think that's why I kind of understand Mal's concern, is because she sees the weakness in her sister, and it is what it is. I mean, Lauryn Hill, who married Rohan, right? Rohan had his wife, and it's just, I think culturally, it's highly possible that he is very manipulative over her, and we just don't see, because it's very subtle.
Right.
I don't know. We don't see enough of them anyway. She's second from the bottom, I guess.
And again, we see Cynthia is so up Nene's ass. They invite Nene to bar one with her and Peter, and they want to talk about this party, that preview party that Peter wants. And Cynthia made the comment, I mean, Nene is a huge celebrity. I mean, she's done things on, Celebrity Apprentice. You don't say that, the way she started the sentence, you don't say that unless you have, 3 or 4 things you're about to name. She's like, I mean, she's been on, Celebrity Apprentice, Oprah,
She's done the Academy Award.
Yeah, the bitch has been on Celebrity Apprentice. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Congratulations, I'm proud of her. She got very far. But did you watch that season of Celebrity Apprentice? She was the bad guy. She was evil. She was Omarosa. And where is Omarosa today? Yeah. Nowhere. But again, Cynthia being the intimidating one, allowing a stronger personality to kind of let her be controlled. And then you see, I don't know, when I was watching this, I just see Nene and Peter playing, having fun together. And those types of personalities, to me, that is more, I don't know. I just think something funny could happen one day.
All right, Greg, you look in that one shirt.
Right. Where was my boss, Cynthia? No. Again, now Cynthia offers money. Peter says no. Question for you. Do you think that he really didn't take any money? Or that was kind of plotted on their behalf?
I think it was, I want to say it was plotted. I would hope that he did man up, and whatever kind of hustle he had to get, whether it's above the table or below the table or whatever you want to call it, I would hope that he did what he had to do, especially knowing that her family doesn't like him. And he can say till he's blue in the face that he doesn't care what they think, but the reality is that he should. If he wants his marriage to really last, he should care what they think.
Right. If you want that marriage to be real, those are the people that you need to care. So let's talk about the party. I mean,
bar one is like bar none, honey.
that was hilarious. The whole car ride with Shereé and her friend, like driving through the project, showing the graffitied houses. Have you ever been to Atlanta before?
Hell no.
I mean, like, there were some clubs that we went to, and we were driving through that, so it was very relatable on that scale. But we get to the party.
I like the hood. I'm not scared of the hood. The hood doesn't bother me, but I just thought it was funny. I mean, even Phaedra's like, people in the hood got a drink too.
Right. Well, no, and the only thing about it that I'm saying this is, let's call it what it is. Like, he feels he's gonna like build this. Oh, celebrities, VIP. They ain't gonna be going there every night. Like, you're having a preview party. That means only selected guests can come inside. But let's keep it 100, as they say. I mean, he's moving furniture while guests are there. Again, I understand time constraints. You gotta do what you gotta do. But, and I give Phaedra credit, as she said, that was very Miami, very sexy. And then everyone's walking around.
Like you said, she said it'd be she said it was gonna be successful. People in the hood got a drink too. I mean, you gotta know where the money is. I'm sure it'll make money. You just have a risk factor of danger. That's all.
Right. Just gotta hire more security. Everyone's hot. There's no AC going on. You don't do that. That's what will give your place a bad name. Again.
Wigs.
Yeah. I mean, again, you can ride on the fact that, we aren't open yet. This is just a preview party. Okay, but that memory is still going to be in people's heads. Who do we have? Charles and Marlo, a power couple of Atlanta. Marlo is a socialite, and Charles is an NFL, is from the NFL. This is the guy that we were talking about a few weeks ago with, had the tabloid drama with Nene.
Right.
So interesting to see that Nene doesn't show up for the party. No, she's ignoring their phone calls, ignoring texts. She's supposed to host this party with Cynthia. Do you think it had anything to do with Charles, or do you think that she was being fabulous and was just like, I'm going to go late to the party? Or do you think she really did have a wardrobe malfunction?
Well, I don't think there was a wardrobe malfunction. I do believe that something probably arose. I can't see Nene backing down just because he was going to be there. Because if that was the point, then I don't think she would show up at all. But I think something else probably occurred. Maybe her and Greg were hitting it. Who knows? But
whoop, boo boo.
I thought it was awkward though. I mean, this whole Marlo chick, like, awkward. When Kandi was doing the interview, like giving the interrogation, I was like, "Ooh, Marlo, you don't feel awkward in this situation?"
Yes. Like, what are you reading to this girl? Like, I'd be like, "Okay, girl, calm down. You asked the question once. Like, stop grilling." He's with me now. What did you think of Peter's surprise as far as a giant portrait of Cynthia's face?
I honestly thought it was cute. I mean, I couldn't see it head on, so I don't know if it looked tacky, but I mean, I thought the premise of it was cute. Whether the intention was genuine, I thought the premise was cute. Again, because I don't know what type of character he really is. We don't only see what the show gives us, but I thought the premise was cute.
As did I, but
thanks for that $40,000.
Exactly. Well, and so that was what put in my head, like, all right, did she really give him the money, and they're just playing it to the cameras like she didn't? Because I kind of feel like they might have a joint bank account or of some situation. And really, how did you get that money under the table that quickly? So I don't know. When I saw that kind of made me a little fishy, as far as that goes. So yeah.
Going back to the Nene thing, do you think that whole date thing with Charles Grant happened while she was with Greg? I mean, he sounded like he was being real about his story about it. I mean, he didn't say that they messed around, but he said that they did go out.
I do. I mean, this is what I've said to you before. I feel like
I have never done you wrong.
never, honey. But this is what I said to you, and I know Courtney disagreed with me, but I feel like Nene got power, Nene got money, and
Right.
not to put blame on it, because sometimes we're put in situations that we don't know how to react or control ourselves, and it's hard to fight temptation in those situations. We're all,
We all make mistakes.
exactly. So something new came in her life. A football player was there. Do I think that's an opportunity could have been had? Yes, I do. I do think that happened with Nene. And now she kind of got herself in a place where she doesn't want to be open about that. But yeah, I do agree. I do think, because it's weird. The situation is just weird. You know, if it wasn't a big situation, if it really wasn't her fault, I think Nene would have been the one to walk by and say, "Oh, hey, Charles."
Mm-hmm.
Like, "Oh, I'm here, and you were talking rumors about me," because that's how Nene is.
Right.
So for her to go, you know, out and about and not make eye contact at all was funny to me.
How about you take it to commercial? We'll come back and talk about Nene and pay some more of her bills.
We're gonna pay some bills when we get back. Peace.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What do you want to buzz about? All right, we're back, and we're gonna head into our predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, so next week looks drama-filled again. We have Cynthia visiting Russell, which I'm wondering if she's visiting Russell for some sort of investment.
Well, what do you know about Russell?
As far as what?
Sorry, this is way off topic. I'm sorry, continue. That's totally off topic. That'd be for the A-List Dallas show. But go ahead. Russell investment?
What are you talking about, like his penis size?
No, I'm talking about his sexuality.
Oh, actually, no, I've never heard anything other than that as far as his sexuality. He does have this weird vibe to him, but I think he's like an asexual.
I've heard many allusions to the arrangement between him and his ex-wife.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, you know, she spent a lot of time here in LA, and she actually went to school at one of our local community colleges for some classes. So, but we can move past that. So, Cynthia and a possible investment, maybe?
That's what I was thinking up from it. Because why else are you going to see him? Unless you're going to do like a show or something. I don't know. Nene on a date, and I just wrote with gross.
I'm sure he has money, though. Ching!
I'm actually just going to move on because that whole incident burned my eyes. My eyes, my mind. That was disgusting.
Well, like Phaedra said, she showed her cervix for a quarter.
Then we get, of course, Shereé being served by Bobby.
And I wish I had paid attention more. Like, what did it? I didn't read what the paper said. Like, what was it for? You know, make sure. It was
I
quick.
couldn't read that either. But you said 1900.
19,000.
Oh, so what do you? What could it be? What could? I was trying to think like money could she have like taken from him that he would be trying to get back? Maybe when they divorced each other, or.
Well, I don't know. I mean, just because she lived in the house doesn't mean she necessarily owned it outright. So maybe when she left the house or that whole thing, and maybe she got some money from the house, and she didn't bother to give him some of that. I don't know.
Ooh, that's a really good call. Let's go with that one. And then finally, Kim's baby.
If he owes her 4 years of back child support, I don't know. I guess it's not even really calling it even. Who knows? But.
Well, it's not calling it even, but I mean, like, people's child support, there are some guys that don't have to pay that much. Like, it's really, like, it'd be like $20 a month.
Yeah.
And then we have Kim's babies coming.
Boring.
Like, it's just, like, Lifetime. Like, I don't need to watch that TLC Learning Channel.
I want to see how Sweetie gets fired and why.
You know what's so funny? I actually ran up to a woman the other day in Target, and I called her Sweetie. I thought it was Sweetie, and I was going to try and get her in on AfterBuzz. She looked exactly like her, and she looked at me like I had 7 heads, and she was like,
"That is racist. You do not hit a woman."
Sweetie! I was like, "Oh my gosh, Sweetie." And she was like, looked at me like, And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "You're not from Real Housewives of Atlanta," and we just ended it at that. She's like, "No."
That would have been amazing. Sweetie moved to LA to get her acting career started. That's why she left the show.
That's why Bravo needs to start a show. We want to know. We want to know. But that's all we got for you guys today. Next week will be much more live, much more interesting. But yeah, so until then. Lots of things going on. Lots of people to see. Talk about. We'll be back.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janedy, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.